Hey guys, Bird Yu-Gi-Oh here. So yeah, the ban list dropped. So of course, I gotta come at you with my top 10 budget decks after the ban list. And of course, if you're counting right away, you can see that there are actually 12 cards here. There's honestly just way too many good decks now with all the cards that came off and just in general, the way the meta is now. There's a lot of decks that you could play and that will still do very well. Granted, this first one is kind of an honorable mention. I'll show you that one here in a minute. But yeah, if you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe because I will be doing deck profiles for almost all of these decks. There's one that I may or may not be doing. I'll explain that when I get to it. But yeah, pretty much all of these I will be doing deck profiles for, so you don't want to miss that. But yeah, so without further ado, our honorable mention, or number 12, is of course going to be Monarchs. We got Pantheism off the list finally, and that just really helps the deck out like more than you can even imagine. It's such a great card. The draw effect is not once per turn, so having multiple ones of these in your hand is just absolutely amazing. You should be able to fix your hands a lot easier now and just have a lot more playable hands with Monarchs. So yeah, like I said, I don't know if it's definitely not going to be in the meta or anything like that or groundbreaking, but it is now making the deck that much better to play like at locals. Honestly, it's a deck that I would definitely consider playing at locals. Really fun and super cheap as well. You don't need an extra deck at all. So yeah, that is number 12. Number 11. I had a hard time putting this here. But just compared to all of these other decks that you'll see, I just felt this wasn't as powerful. So that's really all that kept it out of the top 10. But honestly, Sky Striker, getting Widow Anchor now at 3 is just really, really nice. And you just have, even a higher chance now of opening this or opening multiples of this. It's really nice to have this very, very powerful card back in Sky Strikers. So Sky Strikers, number 11, potentially higher. We'll see what happens, but yeah, really, really nice cheap deck as well. Number 10, going with Zombies. I couldn't really put it any higher, and I was actually honestly, flip-flopping these a few times. But Zombies, I've never actually done a zombie deck profile. It's one that I'm planning on doing, so stay tuned for that. I'll probably get the cards here hopefully soon. I'll start ordering them, so it'll be a while before I do this deck profile. But yeah, Zombies, they didn't really get, touched on the ban list, obviously, and I think they're still a very good. I like the more control version, so I think the control version is going to be very, very nice. So yeah, number 10. Number 9 is actually Orcust. The main reason being because now, obviously, we got Rusty Bardich at, off the ban list at 1, which this deck can make very easily and just get 2 free, not quite negates, but interruptions. So super, super easy to get, obviously, into Rusty Bardich for 1, and then you get those, just a lot of options with Orcus. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. That's another one that has not been on this channel before. So these two are both new ones that I have not done yet. So, and then next we got Mermail, or Atlantean, whatever you want to call it. Water type deck. But yeah, it's another one that again did not get touched. It actually has a few reprints in the Marincess link card, Coral Anemone, I think, or Coral something. Very good in the deck, and now that card is super, super cheap. So yeah, this deck can go first very easily, go second very easily as well. It's just a nice, fun budget deck. And then what are we at? 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Number 7, Altergeist. Now it's another one I couldn't quite put it in this top tier right here, but it was definitely close. It just nothing happened for the deck on the ban list to put it any higher, I felt, but it also did not get hurt at all. So it is still another really nice control budget deck if you're looking for one. And so I will have a deck profile for Altergeist coming up as well. So all of these I will have hopefully deck profiles for. These, like I said, are newer that I'm working on. So these might be a little later, but all of these other ones I definitely will have profiles on very soon. And then now we're getting into like the top tier, the top 6 here. Number 6, Dinos. And I know it's probably one of those that might be even higher. Sam actually, obviously won that online tournament with Dinos, but he was not playing a budget version in any way. So the budget version I feel is number 6. I feel it's just fine there. It does things very well. So yeah, Dinos, not much else to say about that. It's a great deck. Number 5, I had a few options here, flip-flopping some cards, but Cyber Dragon, if you guys have been watching my channel, and seen some of my Cyber Dragon deck profiles, you can see just how crazy the deck can be, and some of the test hands and stuff. Just having like 3 cards in hand, you have the ability of just destroying boards and OTKing. So yeah, it's a cool deck. It has a lot of stuff, in the main deck that just, most decks just cannot handle, and it just blows up boards. So yeah, Cyber Dragons I really like at number 5. Of course, this is another one I thought of flip-flopping, because Dinos are very powerful, but then Cyber Dragons are. So that's just personal preference. As usual, if you guys don't agree with anything here, or I missed a deck or anything like that, just comment down below. I'll take a look at those, but this is just my personal one. So of course you guys are going to have other ones that I might have missed. Breaking in the top 4. Number 4, I had to go ABC, one of my favorite decks. ABC Dragon Buster's now at 2, which I think is perfect. Obviously 3 is always better, but 2 is just fine. 2 is where I am very happy with ABC Dragon Buster being, if they have to limit it in some way, 2 is just fine. And again, it's just one of those decks that can easily go first, easily go second, and those I've just always found are the most powerful decks. And ABC's has always been, it's a deck, if you know it inside and out and are very good with it, you can beat a lot of decks, a lot of meta decks as well. And I've done that a lot at locals and stuff. So ABC's definitely 4. Definitely, obviously a personal preference. You guys might even put this, very high up here, but that's where I have it. Number 3, Magicians or Pendulums, basically just any pendulums in general. Obviously having Double Iris now back is very good, because for one, the card is searchable by Duelist Alliance. It also searches you a Pendulum Graph card from your deck to your hand. And then also, all the Magicians are dark, so they allow you to easily go into a Bardich. I might recommend playing like a Dark Link that you can easily go into, like even like an Underclock Taker is one that I played a lot back when Bardich was out there. So yeah, this card in this deck is really good, and having Double Iris is just absolutely amazing. There's a lot of different ways you can go with this. You can do even like a 60 card Dark Pendulum variant, which is one I might be thinking of doing, but we'll see where we end up with our build for Magicians. But yeah, definitely I feel number 3, especially as far as budget decks go, very good. Number 2, Salamangreat. Now it hasn't been producing, very many top finishes or anything like that lately, but we're talking budget decks, and this deck got some major reprints. Sign Up Mining has yet another reprint, so that card is dirt cheap. And then also one of the best kind of like hand traps for the deck, Fantastical Dragon Phantasme, was also reprinted. This is now like a $4 to $5 card. And so we're pretty much having like a full power, obviously not full power because we're missing Mirage Stalio and our other 2 Gazelles and Circle and all that, but as good as the deck can get, and as far as budget go, you have a lot of options. And it's just a solid deck. Very solid, very consistent, and is, in my opinion, just very, very good. And then actually, so number one, I have another honorable mention. Mostly, and so see, yeah, I have actually two cards here. Tricked you guys there. This deck, Rocket. So it got, again, a nice reprint in Striker Dragon, which was a super expensive card and super necessary card in Rockets. The deck is still, can be fairly expensive, so that's why it's kind of an honorable mention, and it's probably not one I'm going to be doing right away. I definitely will be doing one, but yeah, this is an honorable mention for, the number one spot. But my number one, looking at this, if you haven't figured it out, it's going to be Burning Abyss. Everything right and awesome that could have happened for this deck happened. You have Tour Guide now at 3, you have Sir, you have Graph, both at 2, and now you have yet another option in Rusty Bardich. So you can go into Rusty Bardich, your Dante, Beatrice Plays, you could go into Cherubini. You just have so many options now with the deck, and I just really like it, again, especially for a budget deck. Yeah, it's gonna be cool, what this deck can do, now that it's very, very close to full power. Really fun. It's one of my favorites again, so I'm a little biased, obviously, but yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think, and we'll be doing all these deck profiles coming up real soon, so we'll catch you on the next one.